For those just starting out, to those who built their reputation. In the detail industry, navigating the course is a daily grind. This is Play-by-Play with industry professionals tackling topics and offering tips to help improve your game plan. Now, here's your play-by-play.
What's up, everybody?
What's up, man? What are you doing, Ryan? We're both in different settings right now.
Hey, man, we're doing a little bit of upkeep to our studio, some improvements, and so just kicking it in office. What about you?
Pardon our progress, right?
That's
So,
right.
man, I'm in Akron, Ohio. I flew up here last night to come up to Detail Billy's shop, Akron Detail Pro. They are doing a training for the IDA certifications, and man, they got a really good setup here. They're doing big things, and I'm blown away by his shop, man. It just is amazing. If you haven't had a chance to come check out this shop, you really need to. He's got it going on up here, and it's I tell you, man, it's a big place for sure.
That's awesome, man. I one of these days, I'm for sure gonna make it up there. I know we see it in the background of videos and all that.
Yeah.
It looks amazing, but yeah, definitely have to get up there as well. And you see it. What's up?
Oh yeah, so great show today. I know we got Joel LaPalme on, continuing with our industry influencers, and man, it doesn't get any better than this one. I mean, he has a strong voice in our industry. He's he's well known. Everybody knows him. And just a real good business person to talk to, a good friend and all, and super excited to be talking to him today, and excited about what we got going.
Heck yeah, man. Well, in addition to having Mr. LaPalme on, which I'm super excited about, we got today's Hacker Hack. Always my favorite portion there. And so I know you've seen these cool massagers.
Yeah.
Did you know this has a purpose out in your shop, perhaps? Or at least in the middle of the wood?
You're right.
Exactly what that is.
Well, I mean, what do you catch a cramp or something? I don't know that that's a hack. I think everybody knows, dude. I know everybody knows how to use it that way, right?
I think so, but Chris might actually have a different use for it. I think he'll be pretty impressed.
Of course he does. Of course he does.
Man.
These hacks are awesome, man. I can't wait to see that later in the show. Listen, but one thing I want to talk about, and hey, Dad, what's up? How are you doing? I love having these guest appearances on our, on our podcast. Man.
Look at Stephanie. What's up?
We got somebody. Yeah, come on in.
Very good.
Dad, you were the topic of discussion in the intro to me speaking here. Can he hear me?
No.
Okay, well, you have to tell him. Anyways, tell him that he's missed. There's a lot of people asking about him. So.
Everybody's asking about you, Billy. You've been the talk of the town.
Seriously.
Yeah, well, of course, man.
So, listen.
Right.
Hey, and he's getting around. Everybody that knows or that doesn't know, he had knee surgery last Wednesday or Thursday. Yeah. And he's back at work. A week later, he's back at work. He's limping around a little bit, but you can't hold him down. So, look, I did his job one day. Let's see, what was it, Monday or Friday? That's Friday, I think. I can't remember now. Anyways, I did his job one day. No, it was Tuesday. And I swear, when I got out of that truck from, so my dad, one piece of his job is he deals with all of our dealers, and he carries boats around from dealership to dealership. Anyways, man, I was in the truck all day long, and it drove me crazy. It wore me out. I don't know how he does it. But listen, before we get Joel LaPalme on, I want to talk about a couple of things. And one of them, is building relationships in business. And we talked about building the business. We talked about adding services. We talked about hiring. We talked about how to keep customers happy. But what we need to talk about now is relationships in business. And that doesn't mean like you and your wife. That means like you and who you do business with. Those are business relationships and how important they are. Ryan, I know that you value those things greatly, and know how important they are.
Oh, no, absolutely. I mean, I feel like whatever the business is, and this is regardless what you're doing, the number one thing that you need to focus on in order to continue to just survive, but thrive and grow. It's going to be customer service, it's going to be those relationships. And your dad is definitely one to bring up when we talk about that, because I mean, he is that guy for you, right?
Yes, yes, he is in a sense, and so we all kind of share a piece of that within the company. But as you're starting out, especially if you're still in that owner operator mode, and you're still just building, this is the foundational stuff. And so when you talk about reaching out to your suppliers and building strong relationships with these guys, and Joel LaPalme can tell you, when times get tough or things slow down or things change, a strong relationship can carry a long way. I can tell you when COVID happened, we had built such a strong relationship in our retail store with AFCO that the owner of AFCO actually reached out and called me and said, "Hey, just want to let you know if you guys need any additional terms or need any help, I'm happy to help you guys." And that was solely due to the relationships that we've built. We've taken care of business along the way, and it's so important that you're doing these things and that you're not burning bridges, and that you do business straight up, and you cultivate these relationships. That way they can, when the time needs and you need help, then you can call on that help, and it's not like you're always asking for favors, but it's a give take relationship.
Absolutely. And I mean, it's the little things that matter as well. So I know it's Christmas time rolls around, you guys get out there, you deliver baskets, like
Of
just,
course.
but it's those little things like that, they make the world a difference,
They do.
And even if it's like I mean, even if it's just a customer you had once, you know what I mean?
An old customer, family friend. Yeah,
Family, friends,
absolutely. Just carry
but
some nuts down to them. I mean, that's just what we do. And
it's
but
those little
listen,
things.
let me tell you something. You mentioned it just a minute ago, my dad, and he really helped me understand the value of that. He's very good at that. First of all, that's it.
Yeah.
He's very good at building those kind of relationships. He's on top of it. He just seems to know what these guys and women always want when it's time to massage that relationship. He's in there. And so he really helped me understand the value of that. And so now I'm going to pass that on to our audience, saying, listen, you probably see Chris in the background with Buff and Shine. I mean, we have a strong relationship with those guys. We're a distributor for Buff and Shine, and just being able to come in and like shake hands, and he owes me a water thing that Billy Smith has, actually, and I thought it was weird that I didn't have one from Buff and Shine. So, but listen, I mean, aside from all that, it's if I needed something, I know that I could call him and get it and get answers at least. And those relationships are strong for that reason.
And you're of course one of my biggest mentors when it comes down to just business in general. But when we're talking about, like, if I'm looking at somebody that I want to strive to be like as far as a sales and relationship builder, then your dad's the guy.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so, yeah, man, it's just being able to talk to anybody and everybody, and being able to relate to them. It's a huge thing, and it is what establishes that relationship, and what can make it more than just a business transaction.
Well, and that's what it is. So you got to realize that you're spending money with these guys. So it's not just about cutting a check and sending it to them. You want there to be more. You want there to be more communication. You want to ask them things. You want to be involved, because then, can you hear me okay? Okay. You want to be involved with these guys, because when it comes time to needing something, you just had to make an appearance. Anyways, when you have to make, when you have these things come up, or maybe you need a little help here and there, here he goes back. Big D, you gotta love him. Anyway, so it's imperative that you do that. And if you're spending money with these guys, you might as well go ahead and build a relationship. That way, if you need them, you can call on them. And I think it's very important. And I think the detailers get caught up in the moment. I'm just a buying product, or I'm just a little guy. I'm not spending a lot of money, but it doesn't matter. Any money spent is what, I mean, you're a customer of theirs, just like these detailer, your customers want that one-on-one attention. You should be demanding that one-on-one attention from your suppliers. And I think as you build those relationships, then you can call on vendors and things, and they may need you to do things,
No, absolutely. Now, we don't have it on our kind of like our prep sheet or whatever. Did you want to just, talk about the announcement we made last night?
Oh, absolutely. Thank you so much for that, man. This was a huge announcement, and it's not even I didn't even get it. Like, I want it to be even bigger. bigger. You know, like the video that we done was amazing.
Love it.
It was spot on. But Detail Billy coming on as our brand ambassador is big time for us. You know, we've known about it for a few months. We had spoke with the team and kind of and ironed some things out to make sure that it happened and it happened right. We wanted to do it at the perfect time. We know that he's going to be, him and his team are going to be traveling over to SDC to kind of unveil it big time there. But, you know, he's been such a big supporter and such a great friend. I mean, really, when it boils down to it. And so this just made sense. Like, it was just like, it's more just a formality than it is anything, because he's always been our brand ambassador. He's always been there.
100%.
Yeah.
And even though it took me a lot of massaging, you know, a lot of follow-ups to get them, you know, on board. You know, it's definitely when he did, you know, when he was ready to sign up, he has been 100% forward and couldn't be a better, you know, spokesman for our business, representative of our business.
No, you can't. And this is the thing. This is what everybody needs to understand. This was as organic as it gets. He's paid for software. Him and Miss Vandy, which you can't see her, she's just right off set here. They paid for software. He was just a customer. He was absolutely just a customer that just, you know, went above and beyond and to show loyalty and
when you say above and beyond, would you mean like the tattoo that he got of the code? Is that
yes.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's just it's impressive and you know, it's really mind blowing to think that, you know, this idea that we had years ago, or that I had years ago, and then you know, seeing it all come together and then seeing it affecting people's lives and you know, him being one of the biggest stories about, you know, with it and just like, it's an exciting time, man. I'm really pumped to see where all this goes, but I know that SDC is going to be really special for all of us, and I'm looking forward to it for sure.
Yeah, definitely, man. Well, do you want to go ahead and bring on our man of the hour? Do we have anything else to go over here before?
I think that's good. Yeah, let's bring on Joel. Let's talk to him. I mean, listen, this is our influencer series. We want to hear what he, how he feels like he impacts the industry. Let's bring him on and talk to him. What's up, Mr. Joel LaPalme?
There we go. What's going on, sir?
There you go.
There you go.
Hey.
Hey, Joel. How you doing, buddy?
How are you, Pops?
Man, I'm doing good. How are you doing?
Good. Well, I can't see you, but I'm doing all right.
Yeah, I'm kind of hidden down in here. Oh, you got me?
Oh,
no,
yeah,
the camera's gone black on you.
The camera goes black when he talks. If you can
Let's
go to view and then go to gallery. Gallery should take care of it.
Who, me or them?
Well, anybody that, yeah, because then it keeps it. It just shows everybody all the time. Looks like you might have dropped off. Yeah. View and then gallery. Oh, you may have to, if you're on a phone, slide.
Slide it?
It maybe. The world that we live in, the Zoom world that we live in, it's crazy.
Is that any better?
Yeah, that fixed it.
I can only see still Justin when he talks. That's okay.
Yeah.
That's all good. I just wanted to say hello, Joel. Have a great day, buddy.
Thanks, buddy. You too.
Yes, sir.
All right, so glad to have you on. Glad to have you on, Joel. We're super excited about this series, and when we think about industry influencers, obviously, you know, you're to me, you're the, you know, one of the biggest there is by far, and you've had such an impact on our industry and such a positive impact on a lot of people. And I think, self-admittedly, you know that you've been responsible for a lot of come up for some people in our industry, and I think that it's impressive. But, you know, when we had you on last time, we talked about products and business, but I wanted to talk a little bit about Joel LaPalme and kind of your background as a leader. Did you kind of, I mean, you know, go back 20 years or whatever? Did you go back? Did you always set out to be a leader, or just kind of something that you just kind of wound up being every time?
No, I think it comes from my father. My dad had his dealerships. My dad used to own a company, Minifoot. He used to always have his own businesses, and I've always seen him lead and guide people. And I think that it's natural for that.
Yeah.
You know, I started in the grocery business when I was 15 years old. I was packing groceries and taking groceries out to people's cars and stuff like that. And then I ended up, being the youngest corporate manager in Provigo's history. At 21 years old, I managed a store that was doing over 10 million a week in sales.
10 million a week?
10 million a week in sales.
Ooh.
And then, then I went to Price Club. I was one of their youngest managers at Price Club, directors. And, if I look back on my career, I probably managed or supervised in the history of my career, probably over 15 to 20,000 people.
Wow.
That's incredible.
Holy
That's
cow.
incredible.
Yeah.
So we're talking 15 million a week in groceries. I mean, were you
10
selling
million.
10 million.
bags? Oh, well, still, I mean, are you selling
Yeah.
bags of money, or I mean, that's a lot
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
groceries, man.
Yeah.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's amazing.
That's
Well, you think of Costco, you're going to do a whole lot more than that.
that's I think it's hard to fathom, and I think that's why when you talk to detailers and like they don't realize that how much business can actually be done, and as they grow and scale and figure things out, like there's a lot of moving parts, but it's doable. Growing these businesses, these detailing businesses, the business is there. It's just you got to get out of that owner operator mindset and get into the mindset, say I'm here to run a business.
Well, and you're 100% right. And I think the problem is we set unexpected or unattainable goals as detailers. And I always try to tell people, if you do that, you're setting yourself up to fail. You know what? You know the old saying when you used to take whatever your goal is, put it on your fridge, and reach that goal. But I had a discussion yesterday with my buddy Bill. And I know he calls me every once in a while, and for my for him. I talked to a couple hours with him last night before his Freedom Fest event.
Yeah.
And we talked about specifically that. And I said, Billy, the problem is too many people put the yacht on the fridge. Start with a canoe, start with a paddle boat. Yeah. Achieve that, get that goal done. Then let's move up a bit. Let's get a motor for that tin boat we got now. Let's you can't shoot for the yacht right away, because you're going to trip. You're going to think that you're a failure. You're going to be disappointed. You're going to feel bad. You can't.
Yeah, there's no success along the way. It's all or none. And so like when we talk about setting a big goal, and it's funny that you brought up yacht, because that is my absolutely end goal. Like on my and it's funny, the yacht that's on my phone right now is actually a picture off of IGL's I think it's y'all's marine banner. It was in the training facility, and that boat, I was like, man, that's what I'm talking about. But the same sense, like I'm not saying like that's not that's where I want to be, but you got to break those things down. And I have a pontoon boat right now, and I love my pontoon boat.
But look at the advantage. A pontoon boat, you can have as much of a party on it as you can on the yacht.
Oh man, I can. Yeah, and trust me, we have.
That's what I'm saying, right? That's what I'm saying.
So I guess I need to take the supermodel that I got on my refrigerator and wad that up and
Ryan.
Cashier.
Ryan always goes left field. Always goes left field.
Always.
That's right, man. What are you talking?
So go ahead.
I was gonna say, what was the first business? So you talked about your interest in the business with the grocery store. Now, what was your first detailing related business? Or what got you there?
I was retired. I had semi-retired. I was 43, and I wanted to help out. So I went in town here and I bought a local detail shop, and that was my first detailing experience. And did it. We did it for a little bit, about 2-3 months, and then an opportunity came up. I had an elder lady came in. She wanted her car detailed and quoted, and I didn't know much about quoting. I Googled quoting. I found a company and I gave them a call and I said, "Hey, can I buy some quoting? I have a customer that would like me to quote her car." And they basically told me to take the long walk off of the Shore Bridge. And I thought that was weird. How can a business in this industry not want my money or not want to work with me or train me or teach me? And let's just say that today I see that company that said no to me in my rearview mirror.
Yeah. And I know that's a good feeling. You know, it's always good.
Yeah. And they you know what? And again, I think the biggest thing is if we can help people and be realistic with people on what they can do and where they can go, and that's the winning formula. You know, I tell people right now, and you're going to notice one thing, and I'm going to say this right now: prices have gone up, yes, in the industry, in the world, everything. Okay, the world is a screwed up place. Containers coming over, you got to remember. There's 68% of those containers are operated by Russians and Ukrainians, the ships. So yeah, there's going to be some problems there, problems with everything. But the biggest thing is you still can't gouge people or rape people. I mean, yes, you got to make money. Yes, you got to be real. But some companies, I think, are taking advantage of the issue and gouging like over the top. And that's not right. Like, you know, if you look today, and I talk to a lot of my retailers in our family, and they'll say, well, so-and-so offered me a deal if I buy $5,000 worth of product. And I said, okay, can you afford to buy $5,000 worth of product to get that deal? Is it worth it? You know, and that's one thing when we have a sale, but we don't say get advantage and take advantage of that sale. You spend $2,000 because then I'm not doing you any favor.
That's right.
Right now is your key opportunity as a detailer to make money. You should be using your money to advertise, promote locally your business.
Not sit on the shelf.
Not when you can't pay your electrical bill. I don't want you to go into your product closet and see my stuff with dust on it because you're going to be swearing at me.
And see, I think that's some of the best advice that you've given. So, you know, with these detailers and they buy all this stuff and they have to meet these minimums, you know, and it's like, okay, now when I can't pay my bills and I got all this stuff piled up here, like, you know, who does that look bad on? That looks bad on the suppliers.
Yeah.
So you
got to work with them.
Absolutely. You know, and so we're speaking about influencers. I want to know, Joel, two parts here. Were you influenced someone by, you know, as you were coming up, and then also the most like kind of valuable piece of advice that you've received for business, like in business? You got some input on that?
So the most important piece of advice I've ever received on business was always pay your suppliers. Look after your supplier. Look after you.
Yes.
Don't pay your supplier, then you're going to have issues getting credit.
Absolutely.
So pay your supplier, look after your supplier. The best advice I ever got from a mentor who was my dad was always make sure your books are in order, make sure you pay your taxes, and keep your employees happy. Your employees will keep your customers happy. Your job as an employer is to be a good employer and keep your employees happy, and make sure that they have the knowledge to do what you're asking them to do.
Yep. Yeah, I love that.
Yeah, you can't just throw somebody in the fire and say, "Okay, put it up." If I don't know how to hold the hose, I don't know how to turn it on. I'm done.
And expect them to know what you know or to do it like you would do it. You got to learn. You got to let people come into their own and learn and do things the way they were going to, you know, be done. It's never going to be just like you would do it. But if it gets the same job done, and it allows you to go do something else, then so be it. You know, you don't have to have your fingerprint on everything. It'll be there anyway. It'll be there organically. Yeah, go ahead.
You know, you talk about like trainings and stuff like that, and I think it's super important. If you ever go to one of our trainings, which you've been to, Dustin.
Oh yeah.
You'll see that probably 80%, 85% of our training is in class. 15%, 10% is out in the shop.
Yeah.
You know, because if you know how to code a car, you know how to code a car. You know, it's more about how are you going to offer my product, sell my product, represent my brand, and give the customer the correct information for them to be able to buy from you. I always say a good salesperson never sells.
That's right.
Yeah, no doubt. Now,
you know,
Joel, go ahead. I was going to say.
Well,
Yeah, go ahead. Get it.
Well, I just wanted to mention one thing. So in our intro, we were talking about business, relationships, and I spoke to relationships with the suppliers because, just like doing business with you, Joel, we have it goes more than just place an order, write a check, or place an order, here's my credit card. It's me, like, we have a friendship, and we do business together, and things go both ways. How important do you think relationships are in business when you talk about detailers to their suppliers? How do you feel about that?
Well, I think it's key because, again, okay, so if you look at our relationship and you look at the detail booking with the IGL relationship, our salespeople, when they sell with IGL, we also introduce them to detail bookies. And the reason we do that is because if they're equipped with the proper tools to run their business, they're going to be more successful. They're going to need to buy more product, and we're both going to win.
Yeah, that's spot on. I love that. Go ahead, Ryan. I'm sorry to cut you off early.
No, you're good. I was just, because I know Joel's been in multiple different industries, I'm just interested in knowing, out of all the different industries you've been in, what seemed to be the one that was the hardest to kind of break into? Or where did you kind of run into your biggest challenge? And what industry was that in?
I was kind of lucky because I'll be honest, I introduced all the box stores to Canada. So like I brought Staples to Canada. I was the director there, Price Club, which is Costco, Home Depot. I was a director there. So I was always lucky. So I was introducing something new, wow, to the Canadian market. So people were always excited. But if you're going to ask me which company excited me the most or got me most excited, it might sound funny, but it's probably our bedding company. We own Durham Park. And, it's kind of neat to think that we've been doing this for 15 years. When we got involved and started the bedding company, I said to my wife, we'll do this till we saturate the market and then we'll move on. We'll do something else. Here we are 15 years later, we're still growing at 200-300% a year.
Wow. That is incredible. That is unbelievable. One thing that I've always thought was very unique about you, and I can only relate it to IGL because that's the only business that I've had interaction with you on. But is the way that you guys announce something or unveil something. You guys have a very unique, and I think it comes from you, Joel. I really do. The way that you're very strategic and you're very specific about the way that you announce things and unveil things. But that's just planning, right? That's just kind of building the hype up. And that's the reason that you do some of the things the reason that you do some of the things that you do.
Yeah, and again, it's like anything else in your business. Even you guys, when you guys at EZN want to reveal things, like when you did your construction, your new project, like that was amazing. You gradually brought people along the progress and the adventure, and you know what? They were excited as much to see you cut the ribbon as you were.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that's what you have to do. Even though those people, probably 90% of the people that thought your adventure will never go there, they were still excited for you and what you did, what you accomplished.
Absolutely.
And as long as we understand what effect, like when we reveal something or when we introduce something, we're very fortunate because we work with a global manufacturer. We're not buying another product. We're buying our own product. So, and we're lucky that we're tapping into industrial, commercial markets, different than just a detail market. So we have more to offer to people. So if we can take your detailing business and make it $1 million business, but then we can introduce you to an industrial business and allow you to make $2 to $3 million there. Well, now you have a $4 million business.
Yeah, and it broadens your reach and it allows you to do something more. So that kind of set me up for my next question. Up and coming trends and things that are going on. I'm sure you guys just announced Aegis as the industrial coating, and pardon me if I got that wrong. I'm pretty sure that's the way you guys are doing it. But it's is that kind of where you see the next horizon on the detailing market?
So Aegis is very different. So Aegis is a corrosion corrosion product, so it prevents corrosion. And
Okay.
believe it or not, the USA, I think it's 3% of their GDP is spent on corrosion control. It's over $3.41 billion to be spent
Wow.
on corrosion control. And
Okay.
you know, we're in the corrosion control business now.
Absolutely.
You know, we have what's classified as a C5 category in that industry, which is the top. It's 15 years corrosion, and that's what we want to introduce. But again, it's not just a matter of here's a product. Oh, no, here's a product. Let me show you how it works. Let me teach you what you need to do. These are your potential customers that you should be looking at, and so on and so forth. You got to think people. It's like coding. I can't just show you how to put it on a car and say, "Great job, here's a certificate." I don't tell you what angles to use or whatever. Like I stopped at a retailer here in Canada yesterday, a friend of mine, and even though he doesn't buy from us, we sold out coatings Canada. It doesn't matter. I saw the customer come in, pick up his car, and he left. And I said, "Carlos, what did you say?" He says, "Well, what do you mean?" I said, "Well, you knew he was coming in to pick up that car. You should have had about $120 worth of product sitting here on the counter."
Yeah.
To explain to him that these are the maintenance products that you're going to require to maintain the car, so you come back there and get it. And you know, then you should have also booked him for his next visit.
Absolutely. Yeah. You know,
he was just happy to get his $1,200, and oh my God, I got the $1,200. I got to run to the bank now.
Yeah. Yep. And that is something that's got to change in our industry. You know, Easy in our detail shop, we go ahead and pre-book the quarterly maintenance and the annual top. Like it's booked before they walk out of the building, and we set the tone for that. Like we say, these are the things that we require from you. This is not. We're not just slapping this coating on and slap you on the ass and see you later. We're putting this coating on, and then we want to make sure that it's doing exactly what it is we're saying it's going to do, and we're here to support that all along the way. And they're going to pay us to do it. You know, it's not a free service, but that's okay. And they're happy to do that. They've got the support. We didn't just throw this on there and make it happen. You know, we're here along the way.
And that's why we like detail bookies. We promote it a lot. Is the fact that again, it shows that the customer that we care about the coating as much as they're supposed to.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? And then you don't feel like they just okay. Like when I leave somewhere in a class we call $100 and I don't get any discount, I feel like it seems like the guy was really happy to take my money, but what did I really get?
Right. What's next? Yeah.
Yeah. So it's more of a relationship building also, and that's what the software allows people to do is to get that relationship going also.
It does, and you know, think about it. So they come in and they spend a lot of money. So here's the reality: you know, $1,200, $2,000, $1,500, $2,000. It's a lot of money for a detail. It's a lot of money to anybody for a detail. Once that initial high goes off and they're a week into it and it's rained a couple of times, and now it's kind of lost that edge. All they can remember is that you took their money. Now, with us, we've done set your next appointment up. So we've already set you up in 3 months. Now we want you to come in monthly for our sign up for our monthly, but it's mandatory for quarterly. We pre-booked out those quarterlies. But just know that in 3 months, you know, for an extra $50 or $60, like we're going to come in here and make this baby pop again. And it's just going to be getting better and better and better. And they know that. So now they're not left with that kind of low of I've spent this money. It's okay. I know that in a few months, they're going to be back in my vehicle. They're going to make it look, you know, just like it did. And this thing's just going to keep staying right.
And I always tell people too, when the customer does come back, and you see that the hydrophobics are gone or whatever because of winter, take the customer back and show them. Say, the reason you came back, here, watch. Look how your car is actually reacting right now. That's the reason why I want you to come back. And then when they come back to pick it up, then you show them, you see, this is what a maintenance wash does. Yeah. Now you got your hydrophobics back. The coating never goes away. The coating would always, doesn't matter what brand, the coating would always remain on the car. What doesn't happen is, if you don't explain to the customer that the dirt will build up on the coating and so on and so forth, the customer comes back and says, your coating failed. It's not beading anymore. Well, coating has nothing to do with beading.
Right.
The coating is there to act as a sacrificial lamb to protect your clear coat. That's the only function it has. Protect the clear coat. Not beading. Nothing to do with beading.
Definitely.
And it's just funny, you know, that these guys, it's you've got to educate the customers, but I think it boils down to, and you guys do a fantastic job at the training facility at IG in Kentucky, is educating the customer. You've got like the detailer has to know these things to then pass it on to the customer, and it's part of our sales process. You know, like we are here to let you know, for you to understand what to expect from this coating. Here's what it's going to do. Here's what it's not going to do, and here's what we're going to do to make sure that it does that.
That's right. That's right. You can't hit it with a hammer. You can't use a brass brush. You know,
right?
Stop doing that bullshit.
Yes, exactly.
Right? Let's be honest, right?
That's right.
No, and I think that right now being the key time of the year for detail, I mean, you've got to be ready. If you're not ready now, you're late.
Absolutely.
You know, if you're not ready now, if you don't have what you need to have to do the business, you're late.
And that's something that comes up with the software all the time. It's like, you know, you don't have time to set it up when it's busy. When it's slow, well, you don't really have the business, you know, to justify an additional expense. And then when you should have had it set up, then you're right back into the busy season and you're overwhelmed and you wish you had it in place, but you didn't set it up when it was slower. So it's kind of, you have to know, right?
Truth be told, it's just you know, that's just an excuse or procrastination on doing things when in reality these are tools that will help you eliminate or reduce the slow time, that will help you make more money during the busy time, because now you're more efficient. You know, you have a schedule that works out. Now you can pre-book these jobs. If you're doing it by pen and paper, you're not pre-booking jobs on the future. You're hoping they call you back, and then when they don't call you back, you don't even know it. Okay, but a system that's designed to manage those things for you, you don't have to think about it. I don't think about these jobs that are getting scheduled. I know they're happening, and so now these customers are coming back, and that's why I don't, you know, we call it like flattening the curve when we go from the, you know, because on our dashboard you can see on a graph, and we're trying to keep that line as flat as we can or up as we can, you know, and instead of this roller coaster ride, because that roller coaster ride is your income, you know, and the power bill and the rent and the insurance all stays the same.
Yeah, the three biggest things that have happened to this industry in the last 5 years is coatings, software, and training.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the three biggest things. Now, the two that are staying solid are obviously the coatings and the software. The one that I tend to question is the training, because it seems like everybody and their sisters now are training.
Yeah.
And to me, that's a problem. And it's also a problem when you got a lot of people saying, "Hey, give me $80 a month, and I'm always at your beck and call."
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Why are you worth the $80? What do you have to show? You know, like Grant Cardone, he told me I needed to give him $80 a month, and he's going to help me be with me. No problem. I'll give him
no problem. Yeah.
Yeah.
Joel, tell him how you know, when your banker asks you about investing, what do you tell him?
Show me your bank account.
Yeah.
Let me see what you've done. Show me where you're investing. Let me see your return for the last 2-3 years. I have no problem showing you mine.
Right.
Right. Yeah.
Now,
you know, the bank calls me all the time, Mr. LaPalme, your credit is fantastic. We'd like to lend you money. Want to give you a really good interest rate. And I say, I do the same. I'll give you a really good interest rate. Let me lend you money.
Love it.
That's awesome.
And that's the truth. You know, that's the truth. And these detailers should treat the trainings the same way. You know, I you know, when we talk about trainings, you know, trainings are a great thing. When I was just starting in detailing, there was nothing. And it's a very expensive way to learn how to do something when you're learning by the seat of your pants, and it's a stressful way too. But these trainings, you got to vet them out. You really need to know who's putting on them. What is the agenda behind them? Is the agenda to teach you, or is it to sell you more stuff? You know, and
yeah, is it to sell your product, or is it teaching? I prefer to teach people on how to grow their business, because then the selling products and buying more product is going to come. But if I'm only about, hey, by the way, at the end of the training, you've got to sign on the line here and give me $1,200. That's no good.
No, it's not. It's training for the wrong reason.
Yeah.
Right. And just to kind of steer us away, but in the same aspect, I had a pretty long meeting with one of your trainers, Mr. Mike Carlin. Actually getting him set up on the software, and both him and Misty, his wife,
and they've been on that. I think you're getting them touched up on it. Yeah.
Well, yeah. I know they're in the middle of a transition as far as that, and so just help. But more so going over it with him too, because the guys that he has, that he's been getting onto IGL, there's these processes, and there's also a pretty, a general standard kind of, what you need to be charging for amount of work and time and product. And so now we're going to be able to dial in this, to not only for his business, but also these, a younger guy that's coming into this business and might not have this established pricing. Now we're going to be able to have a really good starting point that's specific to what he's, what he's teaching. And so I think that's just a huge advantage. And having somebody like Mike or
Brian, Marcus.
Yeah, Marcus,
absolutely.
Those are strong leaders that are going to be able to not only bring your brand up, but the guys that use it up. And when we have these relationships, like Detail Booking IGL, it's beneficial for everybody. And so, we appreciate that.
We talk about ourselves. We're very fortunate that and we lost a really, really good one not too long ago, Jennifer. And I won't say lost. We didn't lose her. Jennifer is always going to be part of the IGL family. Always.
Absolutely.
And we understand. I controller, not controller, but advisor, helper, whatever, and questions. But Jen's a strong individual, and she had other ideas, and she wants to help build her cosmetology brand and so on and so forth. And she still has Genco, and there may be other stuff, and who knows. But whatever she wanted to do, you know what? We're not there to slow anybody down or to knock anybody off their horse. We're there to encourage and assist. And that's why, yes, we were sad to see Jen go, but we are also happy for Jen for what she's going to come into in her next venture.
Well, let me tell you, Joel, I know I know for sure exactly what you're talking. You guys, y'all have such a great relationship. We've always looked up to y'all. And, you were like, when I met you, Joel, years ago at SDC, you were kind of, I gravitated towards you and you have a way of helping people. And then you don't do it like, you don't give to receive. You just, it just comes out. It's natural. And so me and you absolutely hit it off. And, I think about yours and Jennifer's relationship, it will go far past any of this stuff. This stuff doesn't, I hate to say it doesn't matter, but it's really small in the grand scheme of things.
100%.
Like the business that Detail Booking IGL is really small in the grand scheme of things. This is a friendship and it goes much deeper than that. And I know it goes that way with Jennifer, and we all feel the same way when I read the post and talked to you about it, listen, that's just business in a sense, but the relationship's there and the friendship will always be there. And I know she respects you a ton.
And I wish, like you said, we helped a lot of people in this industry to start off and grow and whatever. And, unfortunately, probably 8 out of 10 that we've helped have changed. And unfortunately, you help them, then their heads balloon, and then they think they're bigger than their pants are. And that's a bad way. Listen, I've done okay my whole life, but I have a lot of stuff that I'm very thankful to God that I have, and homes and stuff like that. And I'm happy. But it doesn't change me as an individual. I still want people to succeed. I don't talk about my successes because my successes are thanks to other people's successes.
Yeah. Well, and, it can come across wrong. Like I'm the same way, we don't talk about the things that, we reference back. Okay, well, I've done this. So, kind of put me in this position, but, that doesn't get us anywhere. We want to talk about what can we do together? What can we grow together? One thing I want to talk to you a little bit about, is the IGL training facility. Listen, I've been there a bunch. I got my little office cubicle set up over there.
You do have an office there. Exactly.
I want to get
and that's true, by the way.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. And but I love that place. I have a connection with it. I just, I think it's beautiful. What was your thoughts behind that? I know. I guess you like you mentioned, trainings are as important as coatings and software in this industry. And I truly believe that. I haven't heard that. Like, to hear that out loud has really made a lot of sense to me, because I felt that way too. But what was the inspiration behind you building or are you doing the facility?
Well, the first thing was we knew that we were coming out with some new products that required training concerning some rules and regulations and laws and different things. And it's not something that we could just put another product on the shelf and let people order. We had to include those specific things in it. So we needed a facility or a place to do that. So the question was, do we rent? Do we intrude on detailers all the time? Whatever, right? So we decided that we wanted to go about it and control our own destiny. Hey, I want to congratulate her right behind me. 20 pounds down and still rocking it.
Absolutely. Yeah. And we had lunch. You should have seen her. She was like, I can't eat this, and I'm not eating that. And I'm like, yeah,
that's awesome.
It's awesome. Great. It's great.
Congratulations to Billy also.
Yeah. And big announcement last night. We were so excited. It just made sense. He was such. Did this smile get back in my camera?
Make sure you bring him. Make sure you bring him to the next time so he can see how we do things.
Oh yeah, we absolutely are. He's coming to SDC. We're pumped about that show, and
the party on Friday nights.
The party on Friday.
Yeah, we were talking. We were trying to figure out which night it was going to be. So Friday night.
Free shuttles all night to the hotels and back. An open bar. There'll be some food. Detail bookies will be going live.
Oh yeah, for sure.
It's gonna be insane.
Listen, here's the only thing is I've got to make sure that my class is not 8 o'clock Saturday morning, because last year it almost killed me.
I'm 10 a.m., so I'm okay.
Yes, give me to 10. I can do 10, but 8 a.m. class, but after the IGL party was like a kiss of death, man. It was awful.
Oh, no, you know what? And again, there's an example of companies working together. There's IGL, there's Detail Bookies, there's Auto Fiber, there's Flex, there's Next DA Gauges.
Auto Geek. And then
people are participating in the party. Auto Geek.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
It is. It's fun. It's fun. When we was down in MTE and Joel, we was talking about, the party that we were going to, that we threw and stuff. And people started asking you and asking myself, well, can we come? We're like, absolutely, man. That's what it's all about. And that was one of the best parties, man. That was just, you saw, coding companies over here in England. Of course, the software boys we're always cool with each other, but everybody's just chilling and having a great time. And that's what it's all about. And that's what our industry needs to focus on. It's not about competing with each other. It's building each other up and how to, provide the best for the industry. That's really what it should boil down to.
Yeah. You know what? You got to build the industry, and that'll help build you.
Yes. Yep. I agree.
Well, if you have any other questions, I'm here. If not, I'm good.
All right, Joel. Hey, listen, man. I think that's our cue to get the hell off.
Yeah. You only bought the hour.
Hey, I appreciate you, Joel, as always. It's great conversation, brother. On and off camera, we have a lot of conversations, and just appreciate your friendship, your mentorship, everything that you've done for Detail Bookie. I can't even say enough. IGL and you personally have just been an integral part of our success. We do, but I want to give credit where it's due, and you guys have done amazing for us. You have a great product, you have a great company, and we appreciate everything about you, man. Thank you.
Thank you. So much, and everybody out there, stay grounded. Listen, I've been in business for a long time. I don't need an assistant yet. I'm still grounded. I'm still me. Okay, yeah. So stay grounded. Be real, people. Be real.
There you go. I love it, Joel. That's the truth too. Hey, good talking to you,
bro. Guys.
Love you too, man. Thank you.
Thank you, brother.
Thank you.
Cheers.
You got it on the thing.
There we go.
Chris, when you're done with that, shoot it over to me. When you're done with that, though, to me, we'll get you a plug here on Play by Play. All right, Ryan. Always good talking to my friend. Come on, I got it. Always good talking to my buddy Joe LaPalme. He was good. There's Mr. Big D. Look at him.
Oh.
Do you see him keep creeping back
He
into the
keeps
camera?
he does a little drive-by.
Look, I turned the camera to show Stephanie, and then here comes him sliding over into the corner. Sliding into the corner. Here he is.
What's up?
Looking good, sir. Looking good.
Yeah. What you got there, Dustin?
Reflection artist pad.
Oh,
this is amazing. This is Buff and Shine. They put this
Buff and
out,
Shine.
and it was absolutely awesome. Chris is up here showing off his stuff. All right, Ryan. Listen, what time is it?
Man, you know what time it is. Jessica, what time is it? Yeah,
Great.
It was there. It was there, Dustin. And so,
Awesome.
all right. So I haven't used this one yet, but I hear that these massagers, again,
Okay.
these massagers right here, these they're great for removing knots in your back. Well, today we're going to be using it to knock sand out of carpets.
Okay.
You
Is
didn't
there?
know that?
So I can't see a video. Is there a video playing?
It is playing, and so
Okay.
right now,
So
what we're doing.
Go ahead.
We're taking our massager, we're going down on the carpet, and so by using it, knocking the stuff up, then we can vacuum, and it just sucks all that up.
Well, yeah, it validates a lot. So what we used to do before this hack came out, and this, by the way, this is probably one of the best hacks that we've shown so far. This is a true hack. But we used to hit the carpet with our hand, and it would pop the sand loose, and then we would hit and then vacuum. But think about it. There's a machine that's,
it's amazing, man, just to watch it, how it pops everything up to the surface.
Yeah.
And then as you're doing it, you're sucking it back in, and it's just like, a
right.
funnel ready to drop.
So listen, this is a great hack. I absolutely love this one. Here's the reality of it, though. Here's the reality. If you're out in the middle of the woods, you're in your car, and there's sand in the floor mats, and all you have is your vibrating massager and your vacuum. You are set, man. You don't need anything else. You can absolutely vacuum that sand out. Use that vibrating massager. Get that vacuum. Suck that shit out. It's confirmed. That is an absolute great hack. Detailers try it everywhere. There's nothing better in the world. Use it. That's a great hack.
This is a good one. This is something you can use. Really, you don't have to be out in the middle of the woods for this one. You could be out in the shop, man.
Yeah, you can be in the shop for that one. You can be anywhere with that one, on the road, wherever. No, that's a great hack. Guys, killing it. Keep throwing us suggestions, man. These hacks are getting better. This is absolutely what we knew it was going to be. We knew it wasn't going to be just showing Greg Masterson every week as a hack. We were just... No, that's our buddy. I know that's our buddy. I just had to do it.
I pull my shirt off the wall over there.
but anyways, great hack. Keep sending them in, guys. We love it. That's going to wrap up this week's show. Next week we're traveling, so we're going to be We're going to be celebrating our 1 year. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, so we're not actually going to be live next week. We're going to be running kind of a celebration, like I said.
A look back. Yeah, a look back on what we've done.
Yep.
You know what better make it? You know what better make it is the popping of the champagne bottle. The 17th episode celebration.
Oh man, you know what we need to do? We need to get in. We got that bottle that we've been meaning to on.
I mean,
it's almost time. I mean, I feel like if anything, it's
time.
Yeah,
it's time. That bottle came from that bottle came from the first detail bookie user ever. That came from Tommy Trenton. He's a good friend of ours too, representing us down in South Florida. And enough can't be said about him as well. I don't want this anything to overshadow what he's done for our company and everything too. He's done a fantastic job helping us with all of our tutorial videos and just being a great brand ambassador as well.
That's right.
So Toots with Tommy. All right, listen, tell everybody where they can watch us, Ryan.
That's right, guys. You can always catch us live on Facebook. We got our YouTube page. We stream live. Now you can catch us on the Apple Podcast, Spotify, anywhere podcasts are listened to. Of course, this face, that face,
much prettier in person. Yeah.
But if you're out there detailing, you just need us in the headphones, man. That works too.
Throw us in the ears and check us out, man. We enjoyed it, everybody. This series is going to be so cool. I know we're coming back after next week with another heavy hitter, so look forward to that. And we'll see you guys next week. Peace.